This is Josh Cunnings with EnviroNews California at the San Francisco New Living Expo. Here at a very interesting booth. This is known as the Blue Lotus booth, and you are?
Lorin Trodderman.
Lorin, pleasure to meet you. Josh Cunnings.
We are in this country that for many, many years, we're a country based on conservation, based on recycling, based on taking personal responsibility for what we did with our actions and everything. So when we would get all our food, we would buy food in bulk, we would buy food at the farmer's market, or we would trade with it, and we would bring it home in natural materials. And that's the way it worked for a very long time. And then with the advent of the plastics industry and with the whole marketing of convenience, we've come up with this ridiculous notion that we can just throw everything in these disposable plastic bags, use it for 1 second, throw it out, and not have to think about it anymore. And where does that end up? It ends up in our oceans, it ends up in our food stream, and the food that we're using, we try to be good people. We try to reuse our products. We try to reuse our plastic bags, but when we wash them and we reuse them, the heat of the plastic melts down, leaches into our food. There's been numerous studies that are showing that the plastic goes into our bodies and it's like an endocrine mimicker or something, and it disrupts our health. So we got a big problem right now. But Blue Lotus, our company, has come up with a very simple, elegant solution. Let us take home our food, our produce, and our bulk foods in organic cotton, reusable bags. We can use them hundreds of times. We can support organic industry, which is good for the health, our own health, it's good for our planet's health, and it's just good for our community overall. So here's a bag. This is our greens bag. So what we recommend you do is you go to the grocer, you go to the farmer's market, and you get your greens. You take your greens like your kale, you put it in your bag, you bring it home, you moisten the kale in the bag itself, you stick it in your refrigerator. A couple days goes by, you eat it. If you're not ready to eat it, you re-moisten the bag and you have it for a few more days. It will keep it fresh for up to a week or something like that. When you're done with it, you can just wash the bag and reuse it again.
Tell me something, Lorin. If I was to do that with a bunch of kale in a plastic bag, put moisture into the bag and then put it in the fridge, what would happen?
Well, I think we all know exactly what happens. It's anaerobic. Our organic cotton bag breathes. It allows the moisture to be retained by the produce, and it allows air to get in and out. With a plastic bag, that doesn't happen. So you have this anaerobic, disgusting reaction of just mushy vegetables that are there. And what do we do with the plastic bag? If we try to be good, we reuse it, we wash it, which is probably going to harm ourselves, but most likely we're going to throw it out. It's going to end up at the landfill at best, and at worst it's going to end up in our oceans and all the horrible things that we know are happening with plastic bags across our planet right now.
Indeed, there's what I believe I've heard to be an area the size of Texas in the Pacific Ocean right now, known as the Dead Zone, and it's just filled with plastic.
Yes, I believe that is true as well. I'm come from the town of Santa Cruz, and there's a couple projects that are actually based in Santa Cruz that are going out there and looking at all these just huge amounts of waste that is streaming around, called the gyres, that are out there as well, or the gyre.
They're called the gyres?
The Pacific gyre or gyre, but I think that means that it's just a swirl that's going on, but all the plastic and all the debris has just got traps there, which is creating that big area of plastic that's just floating there, and it's just around for tens of thousands of years. It breaks down, but it breaks down into small pieces. I've seen pictures of, if you look in the sand, you hold a handful of sand, and it's not just like brown sand that it used to be. It's got all these speckles of all this plastic that's just going to be there for thousands and thousands of years. It's a disgusting habit, and the brilliant thing is we can change it. And we can change it by taking simple steps, by something we can do ourselves, by being empowered ourselves to make actions to make a difference. And the way we can do that is by using a reusable bag, and ideally a reusable bag made out of organic cotton, support the organic industry, and support our own new habits of being responsible for our own actions in feeding ourselves and our families and our community.
How much effort does it take to use these bags? Have we not just become utterly creatures of habit, where we know we're going to go to the store and have everything pampered and packaged for us in non-sustainable, non-biodegradable, fossil fuel-based packaging, and then furthermore put it into more non-biodegradable, fossil fuel-based bagging, and then take it home and then throw it all away? It is utterly absurd, is it not?
I would agree with exactly what you said. And fortunately, we're in a renaissance and a revolutionary time right now. And people are beginning to say, I'm not going to do this anymore. And I'm going to make a difference by myself by taking action right now, today, to do it. And people are doing a whole lot of different things. And this is just one of many things that we can do to empower ourselves and our own communities to make a difference for our own health, our family's health, and as I said, our community's health as well. Besides the produce, another great use of these bags is for bulk foods. Now, so much of what happens in a supermarket is we buy excessive packaging. We're just going in to buy our beans or our grains, but we come out with boxes and plastic bags and all sorts of things, but all we want is the food. So by using these same bags right here, we can go to the bulk section, and most markets do have a bulk section. We can buy our beans, our rice, our grains, our oats, our popcorn, put it in the bag, bring it to the cash register. In fact, even on our bags, we put the tear weight of the bag on there, so you don't have to pay for the cost of the bag, just for the food that you're getting. No packaging, zero free waste shopping. Go home, enjoy your food, and then when you get home, you can put your food in a jar. And you know what? Food is beautiful. You have a whole shelf of jars at your house. You can look at the red kidney beans and the beautiful black beans and the quinoa and the grains, all the healthy whole foods that we are eating.
That's wonderful, and your bags are like artwork. I mean, they're just gorgeous. I would love to transport my groceries in these bags. Of course, I already use, my own bags to bring my groceries home in, but I'm absolutely entranced with the bags you have right here. And folks, this is it. It's this simple. All you got to do is, do it the way we used to do it before the whole plastics industry took over. How much is the plastic industry trying to prevent people from doing it this way?
Well, we know that here in the state of California, there was a lot of effort made last year to introduce a bill across the state that would ban plastic bags, and not these bags. This isn't even in the consideration, but the large supermarket tote bags that they are done. And there was a huge effort by the lobbyists from the plastics industry that helped get the bill defeated. So we know it's very powerful, but it's close. And the tide is starting to turn, and there's so much goodwill and support in the community that I think either this year or next year we're going to see some kind of statewide initiative. But all cities and counties are taking the initiative themselves to pass their own bans to get rid of plastic in their community. But I think we should do a step further. I think we need to take personal responsibility and take the next step ourselves. Right now, today, you can use an alternative to a plastic bag. All it takes is your simple effort to remember to bring it, to use it when you're there, and then reuse it over and over and over again. And then when you're done with it, you've used it hundreds of times, it's getting trashed, it's stained, it's not there, throw it in the compost, and it will just naturally decay, completing the life cycle, going back into the earth, so that we can just make compost to fertilize the ground to grow more organic produce and vegetables and cotton.
Goodbye to plastic. There it is, folks. The year 2011. The answer's right here. Not only do you need to bring your large, recycled grocery bag, you should also bring the smaller bags. Package everything in bulk. No more packaging. And that's the answer. It's that simple. Thank you so much, Lorin, for your time, for showing us your wonderful array of products and your spirit. We all need a dose of it. We truly do.
Thank you very much for having me on.
You're very welcome. For EnviroNews California, this is Josh Cunnings. Thank you and good night.